Hello and welcome to Unit 4 of the Cloneshouse Nigeria Online um, Result Based Monitoring and Evaluation course. This is Unit 4 out of 5 of the first week. We still have some 5 weeks to go. And so this unit is actually focused on result chain, results chain. Just as its name implies. And with this training, this particular unit, you're supposed to be able to explain to others the fundamentals of results or of results or the result chain itself, identify ways for developing outcome statements, and also plan and design a result chain for your program in simple steps. So in the last unit, Unit 3.0, we've been able to design a cluster pathway or a theory of change for one of our case studies. In this session, what we'll be doing is now being able to ascribe our result chain to the theory of change that we have actually created. So in the next minutes, we will be discussing the power of measuring results, elements of result planning, what are reasons to focus on results, and what is the result chain itself, and how to develop outcome statements, because outcome statements are quite important for any project, any program at all, because that's actually where your result begins. Um, so, why do we measure results, or why is it important? Um, if you do not measure results, you cannot tell success from failure. So it's important that we measure the results of our program. So, for example, a program that is supposed to reduce maternal mortality. We'll look at several cases, several activities, several outputs. We'll measure several outcomes, and it will try and find out where problem came out from if it doesn't meet the target of reducing maternal mortality by, for example, let's say 5%. If that was the essence of the program. So if we did not reach 5%, if we could not reduce it by 5%, if we were able to reduce it by 2% at the end of the program, we should be able to say why that 3% wasn't met, what happened, what can be improved on in the following year. So that's important. Also, that yes, it might be cool to reward people that might have worked ceaselessly to make sure there was a reduction in that maternal mortality, which is the death rate of women at birth. So it also allows us not to be rewarding failure, like things are not going on well, we're not meeting the targets, but we're still rewarding people. So it calls for time for us to rethink how we are rewarding people, because our project is not actually meeting the target. I've said this before, it's about learning. We need to use it to learn. And also, correct things that didn't work perfectly. And largely, it is about, yes, we're reaching the targets. Also, citizens are happy about the project we're doing, the program that we're doing as well. So, in terms of results, what we're talking about is a change in the society, in a country, in a group, and this is being measured by causality of it. So there's a cause and effect. So in essence, A has led to B, A has made B to happen, and B is now leading to to see, which is what we call the if-then logic, which means that, oh, if we provide vaccines for primary health care hospitals, then uh, infant mortality is going to reduce. So that's what the if-then logic means. So it means if that is causing infant mortality to reduce, then we need to keep providing vaccines for primary health care. That's what it means. So those are elements to result. And I mean, the reasons why countries, organizations, the society, international partners does result-based monitoring and evaluation is, yes, in essence, to show uh, what's working in terms of who does what and how effective they are doing things, which is good governance. Um, Also for governments, institutions, development partners, multilateral organizations, bilateral organizations, to show how accountable they are and transparent in terms of the data that they share and how they collect the data. Also, I mean, in development cooperation, providing aid from developed countries to developing countries, it is to show how effective those aid are in those countries. So, in terms of health, in terms of education, in terms of, yes, climate change, in terms of sustainable livelihoods, um, improves small businesses. So we want to really show how effective that is, and also in delivering tangible results. I mean, result outcomes that are important. So those are the reasons. What exactly are the result chains? Um, so it's a chain that you normally see. You might have seen it. You might have read it in some literatures. So it's in terms of inputs, activities, output, outcome, and impact. So input at this stage and activities lead to these three results. Um, it's important to state that in some literatures you might actually see immediate outcome, intermediate outcome, then outcome, and not see impact. Yes, it's possible in some literature. So, um, also because it takes time for you to move from output to impact, or from outcome to impact. So outcome is being broken down into two different stages in some literature. So it's important that we know this. But this is how the result chain looks like. And for result-based monitoring and evaluation, it focuses on the outcome um, stage and the impact. So it's the outcome or the impact as well. So what's input? If we talk about the input, inputs are actually what we as program implementers, funders, organization provide for a program to be implemented. So, for example, um, farm inputs like tractors could be provided for farmers in order to improve their yields. Um, Vaccines are also inputs in primary health care as well. Also, you can think about the human resources that is provided for a particular program or project. These are inputs, toolkits that are built for a particular program, funds that are made available for a particular program. These are all what we refer to as inputs, and is provided by program implementers. Then you have activities. It would be nice to quickly take us back a little bit. In some literatures, you might only see this as activities, and at times you might just see it as input. So they merge these two together in some literatures, but it's important we understand the fundamentals of this. So activities are what we plan out in order to achieve the output. So they're majorly defined in our work plan. So as activities of a program. So trainings, workshops, um, petition signings, town hall meetings, advocacy meetings, And yeah, I mean, all those activities you have as your work plan, stakeholders meetings, um, these are things we refer to as activities, and they are those things that produces the output. So outputs are actually the immediate result from our activities. Immediately you do the activities, then um, you have your output, and it is within our control. We can measure it, um, and it is always measured in terms of reach. So communities reached by a particular program. Um, Community health workers now trained, they can now use what was used in training. Market women that are trained, those that call when we do a radio program or organize a radio program, those that call in. Um, yes, and sanitizers that are now in several homes that have been provided for several homes, so access to that. So I mean, these are all output, and we say it is within our control because we can still um, measure this. When it now comes to the outcome stage, it becomes difficult to control because we are now talking about the change in behavior of those beneficiaries that have attended our program and our projects. So we say it's what beneficiaries achieve as a result of the services provided to them. So it's the change in behavior of these beneficiaries as a result of our activities. Um, so examples are children are now influential protectors among peers. Police now recognize suspect rights to witness to statements. You could think about a program that is meant uh, for gender equality in homes or women protection at home. So, change in behavior of husband to wife at home. You could think about the behavior of teachers. Um, Teachers now being able to, teachers that are now using pedagogy method in training. Um, Children about numerical skills. So it's a change of attitude and behavior um, by your beneficiaries, and you can. So I mean, one thing about outcome is that it's related to the objective of your project. So in terms of outcome statement, it's also related to the problems. So we coin the outcome from the problems that are or the needs that have been identified. So for some of the examples, yes, parents that are still sending their wards to Hawk during school hours. Yes, one of the outcome will be that few children are out on the street during school hours due to our activity. So we're taking children. It means this program is taking children out of from the streets. Married women always abuse their husbands. Um, so more women have access to reporting mechanisms. So that's an objective, an outcome statement that, oh, now you now have more women that have access to reporting mechanism of domestic abuse. Community is no longer safe to go out after dark. That means at night, community is not safe. Uh, and our objective, our outcome statements will be that elderly people increase hours of shopping in the evening, um, just to show that yes, the community is more secure. There's several other examples. School buildings that are made from poor materials. Then it means we want outcome statement to be improved school structures to meet standards of market economy. And you can think about a whole lot of uh, examples of problems now being coined into outcome statement. So one thing that is also important is that these outcome statements cannot be directly measured. So you can only report on them, and the only way you can report on them is through indicators. Yes, you can use indicators to now measure some of these outcome statements. So, for instance, improve school structures to meet standards of market economy. What you can do is actually be able to use your indicators. So, in the next unit, we will be discussing indicators. What we'll do now is to go to a case for the same case 35, and what we'll do is just develop a result chain from our Jamboard. Remember, in unit 4 we have already constructed a pathway. Now is for us to identify where each of those level of theory of change falls on our results. So is it input, is it activities, is it output, is it outcome, is it impact? So what I'll do is continue to work on the Jamboard. Yes, because which is here already. So don't forget jamboard.google.com. I would erase this so let me erase all this and this. I can definitely put it back. So this is my so don't forget these are needs, so I might not necessarily want to do anything with this. So I have this, and this. For each of this there's supposed to be indicators, right? For each of all this, we're supposed to have activity-based indicators. Then this output, that's our output. So so it's just for us to think about where this falls on our result chain. Is this an activity, so which one is an activity, which one is an input? So we need to rearrange this, very simple, so that we have space. So don't forget this needs. So chlorine distribution could be an activity anyways. Radio programs is an activity. Hospital outreach is an activity. Family drama and clean water is an activity. This could double as also input. Yes, because chlorine is an input for the community. So, and don't forget that I said at times you can actually merge input and activities together as well. So this all falls on the activities, and I'm going to use let me see if I can use my pen to write out activities. So I've been able to match this to my activities, and all indicators here will fall actually on the activities. Um, so I also knows importance of drinking clean water. So that's an increased knowledge in that sense. This will fall as an output. I also learn how to use chlorine. I also now have chlorine. This is output. This is output. I can put this as a little bit of outcome. So I also uses chlorine. Okay, it's already there. So let me put this as all this in my color code. Don't mind me. I already color coded them while I knew where they should fall into. So I'll use my pen again and I'll put this as output. So in the second assignment, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to match your theory of change to your result chain. So you have your outputs, and let's see this. Household uses chlorine. Yes, they're now using chlorine. Household now consume more clean water. It's actually outcome. That's a change in behavior. So I would this becomes my outcome. Yes, because so the beneficiaries now have this change in their behavior, and it becomes my outcome. So I can time this as my long-term outcome. I can change this to my immediate outcome and put this as my um, intermediate outcome, intermediate outcome, because when this happens, this now happened as my, don't forget this was the objective of the project. So I can, this is also an outcome as well. So think about that. So, which now leads to a reduced child mortality in form of, what's the result change for this? This is our impact. Good. So I've been able to label my cursor pathway with the result chain, and I can now download. So that's the reason why you cannot actually use Jamboard for this, because I can't write properly. So download as PDF again. Downloading. Okay, so I have it here. I can here. So I have this. So um, yeah, that's it for this uh, unit. So don't forget, it's an exercise for you to do on unit 4. So you might want to check. So on your unit 4 classwork, there's an exercise, so you need to submit. So I hope this is useful for you. Please do feel free to make comments um, on the stream page where you have all the class um, documents. If you have comments, suggestion uh, as well for unit 4. Thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful time.